Okay, so I'm making another dog bed because the other one's not as plush as this one, and I love, what's the word? The word is spoiling. I love spoiling my new buddy. So this dog bed is thicker, and it's 6 inches thick, and it's plush. So I have to do the math to make the cover. So I measured, this is 36 inches, this is 28 inches, and the height is 6 inches. In order to get the height of this, but not have to do like a third piece on the edges, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add 6 inches to the top and 6 inches to the bottom. Let me get another pen, this one isn't working. There, now it's working. So I'm going to cut the top out at 34 and the bottom out at 40, but I'm also going to add seam allowance. So this is going to be 34 and 1/2, and the bottom is going to be 40 and 1/2. So now I just cut the top and bottom pieces and sew them together. Okay, so the reason I'm using this pink and green fabric is, one, I have 2 different fabrics. One's gonna be the top, one's gonna be the bottom. And that way it's kind of like reversible. So in the summer months when it's hotter, we can have this flat side up that isn't fuzzy, and when it's colder, we can have the fuzzy side up so the bed is warmer. So I'm just gonna open these up. I did buy these at Walmart, so they'll probably have them in an area near you. I'm gonna open these up and lay them out and put them on the floor. Okay, so ideally, what you would do is you take your ruler and you would measure this all out nice and perfectly at 34.5 and 40.5 inches. But I wanna make this project simple and easy. So what I want you guys to do, if you're following along, is to take your cushion, bed, or whatever rectangular object you're trying to make a cover for. I want you to take this, and I just want you to plop it down on the fabric. And I want you to carefully line it up in the corner and the edge. Just nice and lined up. Yep, as best you can. Sticking over. Okay, it's pretty nice and lined up. At least it's square. And now, since the height of my pillow is 6 inches, I'm going to take my 6-inch ruler. So right here, I'm going to put it down on the ground like such. And I'm going to lay it down kind of almost snug to the bottom of the pillow, and I'm gonna cut it at 6 inches because I'm hoping that there's a 1/2 inch sticking out of that fabric underneath, and since this is so fluffy, even if it's tight, it'll be good. If anything, it'd be better if it's tight. Okay. Okay, now on each of the 4 corners on both sides of the case, I want you to make a square in the corner, and that square is going to be half your height by half your height add a 1/4 inch. So my height is 6 inches. So my square is going to be 3.5 inches by 3.5 inches. And I'm just gonna pop that in the corner on all 8 sides. That's where one of these nice rulers comes in handy. That way you know it's square. Okay, now that you've got all of these corners traced out, what I want you to do is I want you to fold them like this, from this point to this point, and then line up this line and this line, and then sew it together. So you'll create this little triangle. And I want you to sew that on all 8 corners. 4 corners on the top, 4 corners on the bottom. Okay, so I've got all of my corners pinned up, ready to sew. So now I'm just gonna stitch all 8 of those corners. So I found some pink thread. It's gonna be better than the black. I don't have much on this bobbin, so once this bobbin runs out, I might switch to gray, because gray will also look nice with this. Okay, the next step is to take all these corners and then fold them over. And there's a couple of ways you can have these corners. Is you can open them, fold them like this, and then cut the extra off. That looks nice, but I don't like, it looks nice on the inside, but I don't like the way it looks on the finished product. So what I like doing is I like taking these corners and then pushing them towards the short side of the cushion, dog bed, or whatever you're making a cover for. So I'm just going to go through and pin these corners down like so. And I'm going to stitch them. I'm going to do this to all of the 8 corners. So now I'm going to take it over to the machine and sew here on all 8 of these corner pieces. So next I'm going to put these zippers in. I'm not going to really go into great detail about how to put them in, because I did a video, another like dog bed cover video, and I went in pretty good detail on that. So if you'd like to check that out to learn about how to make the zippers, feel free. I have to wait for my iron to heat up first. But right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure out where to put these zippers on the bed. Okay, I got these edges nice and lined up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew the back half of the bed, and I'm going to leave the end open so I can put the zipper in. And I have 2 dress zippers. They're 24 inches long each. No, 24, I'm sorry. 22 inches long each. And I'm going to use the same method that I did on my other dog bed. And I'm going to use 2 and then have them open together like this, so I can get the opening to be bigger without ordering a specialty zipper that's extra long. And the reason I want to have it so long is so that it goes past these corners, so I can just fold the top of the cover over and then slide it in a lot easier rather than more like stuffing it in to the cover. So now I'm just going to go from this pink pin all the way around over here to this pink pin. Just sew the sides together. So I haven't looked at the whole thing yet. I just finished sewing it. So we're gonna look at it together. That's nice. I wanted to use a pink zipper, but they didn't have pink zippers. And this purple kind of matches, because there's purple flowers on this, like, pink side. Just one zipper. It's pretty good. There's the other zipper. Pretty good. Now I just gotta put the just have to put the cover in the pillow in the cover. Let's get this pillow stuffed. Excuse me. Here. The reason I'm making a cover for this is because the directions say spot clean only, and that is not gonna work. So that's why I made a cover for this one. Voila. So that's the pillow, all stuffed. So we've got pink side, the pink with a gray side, and then we have the gray with pink side. I think I'm gonna go get a butterscotch for scale. I'll be back. We've got a butterscotch for scale. You like it, baby? Yeah. See, just jump. I think it's comfortable. Well, it's not for him anyway. So you see, it is a little big, but I did not pre-wash this fabric, so if I eventually have to wash it on like a high heat, I mean, you never know. It'll shrink down. It makes it a little, the extra space makes it a little easier to put in and out, and it does look a little too big. So the extra ease does make it look a little big, but that's okay. It'll shrink down eventually, maybe, and if it doesn't bother me either. Okay. Well, thanks so much for watching, everybody. I think this was a good project. And who knows, I might very well be sitting on this more often than who it was designed for. And I do have a boy dog, but the pink and green matches our room better, and he won't mind as long as it's soft. So, again, thanks so much for watching, everybody. I really enjoyed making this.
I'd like to give a big shout out to all 51 of my subscribers. You mean so much to me. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. See you in a couple of weeks.